Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. Gold miner remanded for taking the life of his reputed wife in Port Kaituma. Reward offered for information leading to the recapture of escaped convict Jose Awad. Ministry of Health to implement an electronic health record system with smart cards. Also, trio charged with smuggling raw gold at CJIA face additional charges. 11 individuals from 7 countries receive Guyanese citizenship. And U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Terrio, responds to questions concerning the United States Department of the Treasury probe. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
Gold miner remanded for taking the life of reputed wife in Port Kaituma. Silos, France, a 27-year-old gold miner from Port Kaituma, Northwest District, has been charged and remanded to prison for the murder of his reputed wife, Paulette Edwards, whose headless body was discovered in the area. France appeared before Magistrate Robindranath Singh to answer the murder charge. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to prison until August 6, 2024. The arrest of France came earlier this week following the gruesome discovery of the decomposed, headless body of 23-year-old Paulette Edwards on June 8. Her remains were found in a swamp surrounded by bushes at a location known as Catwalk in Port Kaituma. Edwards was identified by a scar on her right leg and the clothing she was last seen wearing. It is believed she was brutally murdered between June 4 and June 7, 2024. Edwards was last seen alive on June 4 when she left to file a report at the Port Kaituma police station against her husband. Reward offered for information leading to recapture of escaped convict Jose Awad. The Guyana Prison Service (GPS) has announced a reward of $300,000 for any information that may lead to the apprehension of convicted prisoner Jose Awad, who escaped from Lusignan prison on May 14, 2024. Awad's last known address is Red Lock Lima Sand, Essequibo. Director of Prisons Nicklon Elliott confirmed the reward and stated that Awad managed to escape after being left unsupervised while working at the Snakehet in the compound of the Cecil Kilkenny Training School. Awad was serving a 2-year sentence for break and enter and larceny. In response to the escape, the GPS placed the supervising officer on duty under close arrest to facilitate an investigation. Additionally, Awad's wife and mother-in-law were also detained during the probe. The GPS urges anyone with information regarding Awad's whereabouts to contact the nearest police station, the officer in charge of the Lusignan prison at telephone number 604-7305, or the prison's director at telephone number 613-6616. Trio charged with smuggling raw gold at CJIA face additional charges. Shamina Ahmed, her daughter Ashiana Salamali, and Ian Jacobys, who were recently charged for attempting to smuggle 240 ounces of raw gold through the Chetty Jugan International Airport, CJIA, are expected to face additional charges in the coming days. This announcement was made by Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo on Thursday, who stated that the trio will be charged under the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Ahmed, Salamali, and Jacobys were intercepted at the CJIA with raw gold worth approximately $560,000. They were outgoing passengers on an American Airlines flight to JFK Airport in New York. The 240 ounces of raw gold were disguised as silver-plated jewelry, but were confiscated after the passengers failed to produce the necessary permit and declaration to customs officials. The trio appeared before Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman at the Diamond Magistrates Court, where the charges were read to them. They pleaded not guilty and were granted bail in the sum of $600,000 each. As part of the bail conditions, Jacobys must lodge his passport at the Diamond Magistrates Court and report to the clerk every first Friday of the month, while Ahmed and Salamali are required to report to the clerk every Friday pending the outcome of the matter. The case is set to return to court on June 18, 2024. 11 individuals from 7 countries receive Guyanese citizenship. On Monday, 11 individuals from 7 different countries were awarded their registration and naturalization certificates by the Home Affairs Ministry's Immigration Support Services, officially making them citizens of Guyana. The ceremony, which took place in the presence of Head of Immigration Support Services Michelle Davis and Jessica Backus from the Citizenship Section, was marked by a warm welcome from Andre Ally, the Permanent Secretary of the Home Affairs Ministry. In his address, Ali congratulated the new citizens on reaching this significant milestone and emphasized that citizenship is more than just a legal status. It represents a shared commitment to the values, ideals, and progress of Guyana. He highlighted that the nation's strength lies in its diversity, with various cultures, ethnicities, and backgrounds woven together to create a vibrant and unique national identity. Ali expressed confidence that the new citizens would contribute to this rich cultural tapestry with their own traditions and perspectives. Ali also underscored the responsibilities accompanying citizenship, urging the new citizens to actively engage in society, uphold the laws, and contribute to the nation's development. This recent ceremony follows several others, including one in April where 39 individuals from 13 countries received their registration and naturalization certificates. Additionally, in September 2023, 42 individuals from 10 countries were granted Guyanese citizenship. The process of obtaining citizenship by naturalization in Guyana requires applicants to be ordinarily resident in the country for 7 years preceding their application, demonstrate good character, and intend to continue residing in Guyana. Successful applicants are granted a certificate of naturalization and must take the oath of allegiance to Guyana. Among the application requirements is the need for applicants to advertise their intention to apply for naturalization in a newspaper for 2 consecutive days. Earlier this year, it was reported that the ministry had issued 10,155 Guyanese visas for 2023, catering to various needs including employment, business, study, and visitation. This statistic underscores the country's ongoing engagement with the international community and its openness to welcoming new residents. The Home Affairs Ministry remains committed to facilitating the integration of new citizens and enhancing the multicultural fabric of Guyana. Ministry of Health to implement electronic health record system with smart cards. The Ministry of Health in Guyana is set to introduce an electronic health record system, EHRS, aiming to provide each citizen with a smart card that contains their complete medical history. The initiative, announced by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, is expected to enhance patient care by streamlining access to medical records. Key features of the EHRS. Comprehensive medical records. The smart card will hold patients' medical histories, including diagnoses, test results, and medications. Healthcare providers will be able to access this information instantly by swiping the card, improving treatment accuracy and efficiency. Implementation timeline. Parts of the EHRS are planned to be rolled out by the end of the year. Over the next few years, the goal is to ensure that every Guyanese using the public health system receives a smart card. Funding and development. The project is funded through a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. For companies are currently in the second phase of evaluation, demonstrating their software solutions as part of the bidding process. Next steps. Following the evaluation and IDB's no objection, a company will be contracted to design and install the EHRS. Staff training and system setup are critical components, with plans to initiate these processes by the end of the year. Data protection. Compliance with the new data protection law will be ensured, safeguarding patient information. Dr. Anthony expressed optimism about the project's timeline, emphasizing the potential benefits of having all medical records and diagnostics readily available. This modernization of the healthcare system is expected to significantly improve the quality of care provided to patients across Guyana.
Absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So these sanctions were 2.5+ years of investigations ongoing in the United States. We reserve these types of sanctions for gross levels of corruption and human rights abuses. In fact, 2 days ago, we also levied sanctions on quite a few Russian financiers of the Ukraine crisis. So this is something that we reserve for very serious crimes. And after 2.5 years, it was a whole of U.S. government investigation. And we had, and it's a very high bar. We do not do this lightly. This is something that we ensure that we have a preponderance of evidence before we're ready to levy these sanctions. And we had that in this case against the 3 individuals who were sanctioned.
Are there other persons being looked at? Because I noted in the statement coming from the Treasury Department, you spoke of government officials who might have been involved. Could you comment on that? And also, Vice President Jagdeo yesterday said he has written to the U.S. government seeking more information.
That's absolutely correct. President Jagdeo, actually it was Finance Minister Singh and Commissioner General Stacia who requested specifically officially in writing for the documentation that we used in building the case for these sanctions. And that was requested, and I strongly recommended to our partners back at in Washington that they provide as much of that information as possible, because I understand that the government here wants to do their own investigation and follow up on this. They're also incredibly concerned about this corruption. And sorry, what was your first question?
The persons being looked at.
Other persons?
As far as I know, that is not the case. The investigation was specific to these 3 individuals. I'm not aware of any additional investigations at this time.
But is this where it ends, or could there be criminal charges from your side also coming?
I think that is always possible. I'm not aware of it at this time, but that is a possibility.
Have you shared the evidence with the government as well? Have you shared whatever evidence you have gathered there with the government?
So that's what the Finance Minister and Commissioner General requested, and I passed that request immediately to the Treasury Department, which is sort of the umbrella for the investigation. And I again strongly recommended that they share as much of that evidence as that is unclassified or that they can share, because we have a wonderful partnership with the government of Guyana, and we want them to be able to take that information and do with it what they need to do.
Can you say how soon that could possibly be presented?
I wish I could. I wish it was today. That would be wonderful, but unfortunately I don't control the entire U.S. government, so I did ask them, though, to expedite it, because I think it's very important for the government of Guyana to have that information so that they can take next steps.
It appears as though local agencies were left in the dark. Though you're saying you share a good relationship with the government and with these agencies, many of them have been left in the dark and are now seeking information. Why was that? Was that deliberate on the U.S. side?
So my understanding, I don't work for the Department of Treasury, but my understanding is, having dealt with these in Haiti as well in my previous position, that they have to keep these investigations very close hold, because they can be compromised by anyone. So we tend to not share a lot of information until the investigation reaches a certain stage. And so I regret that people feel that they've been left in the dark, but that is just in the United States. It would be exactly the same way if we were conducting an investigation against someone accused of corruption in the United States. We would not share that information until the investigation were at a stage where that was possible.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You said only unclassified information. That's all that will be shared with the government.
Unclassified. There's also a level of classification called sensitive but unclassified. We could share that as well. And then there is classified information that we can request be declassified, that we can be allowed to share. And that goes back to your earlier question about our intelligence, or actually it was your question about our intelligence sharing. When we want to be able to share something with the government, we have to request permission from the source agency. And unfortunately, we're a very big bureaucracy in the United States, so sometimes that takes a little bit of time. But I've absolutely requested that, and I was very clear in my request that we want to be able to share as much as humanly possible, because we want to be very transparent. The government of Guyana has been very transparent with us, and we want to do the same in return.
Thank you.